Good evening and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. I had put my hair up. I just wanted to go out and take a walk. I already did one video update today. I wasn't planning on doing another one, but oh my goodness gracious, my blood is boiling and I am furious. But mostly I'm so sad, I'm trying not to cry. So they are gathered today in the United Nations to talk about the situation in Gaza and here in Israel. And we know that the United Nothing has always been anti-Israel. 80% of the resolutions that they're doing is against Israel, always condemning Israel, the blatant lies against Israel, stripping Israel of historical sites here in Israel, particularly in Jerusalem. They have proven themselves over and over again what I would actually call anti-Semitic. But tonight, that took the price. So after Israel has been brutally assaulted, attacked, massacred, more than 1,400 people, documented by these evil ISIS-Hamas terrorists who were laughing when they were cutting the head of the babies, who was laughing when they were gang raping women, when they were burning children alive, when they were cutting out the eyes of husbands in front of their children, when they were cutting up the breast of a mother in front of her children, documenting everything for the world to see. Murder and mayhem, kidnapping more than 200 people into the Gaza Strip, holding them hostage right now. More than 5,000 people are wounded. There's not one family in this nation that's not affected, that's not hurting, that's not crying, that didn't have to bury a loved one or know someone who was murdered or was injured. All the people who was injured, the trauma they are going through, the survivors, the people who survived this brutal assault and terror attack on Israel, which was the worst since the Second World War. All the people. This nation has forever changed and is traumatized. And yet, US Secretary-General Guterres went in front of the United Nations and he spoke today. And he accused Israel of violating international law in its retaliation against Hamas terrorist organization in Gaza. And after they had mutilated and decapitated and raped and tortured and burned alive babies, he's calling for a ceasefire now. And we are going to have a ceasefire and we are just going to leave more than 20,000 Hamas terrorists still in charge in the Gaza Strip, where they have also fired more than 30,000 rockets into Israel over these years. And he's deeply concerned about the clear violation of international humanitarian law that we are witnessing in Gaza. If there's any international humanitarian law that's being violated in Gaza, it's the fact that Hamas took more than 200 people hostage. Have they seen a doctor? Did the Red Cross allow them to come in and examine the women who was raped, the people who were injured, beaten, tortured? No, that's your humanitarian crisis in Gaza. On top of that, he says, how dare he? He says, I have condemned unequivocally the horrifying and unprecedented attack by Hamas in Israel. Nothing can justify deliberately killing, injuring, and kidnapping of civilians on the launching of rockets against civilians. And he's saying all hostages must be treated humanely and released immediately. And then he says, however, it is important to also recognize the attack that Hamas did. It did not happen in a vacuum. Excuse me. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation. They have seen their land steadily devoured by settlements and plagued by violence, their economy stifled, their people displaced, and their home demolished. Their hopes for a political solution to their plight have been vanished. Excuse me, how dare you? How dare you? So, because of the occupation, Hamas, it's justified that they went in and then they burned children alive. They decapitated people. They committed the worst massacre since the Second World War. Didn't this United Nations be founded after the Second World War to look after the civilians, to look after the innocent? What was this? This was civilian in Israel who was sitting at the Shabbat table in the morning, Simchat Torah, after celebrating all the high holidays, the last day of Sukkot. And these barbaric monsters, evil ISIS from the pit of hell, breach into their house and they murder every single person they met. They didn't just murder them, they tortured them, they mutilated them. People at a music festival, having a good time, they were burned alive, they were shot, they were raped, they were tortured, they were pulled into the Gaza Strip. Holocaust survivors being beat and humiliated in the streets of Gaza. But that didn't happen because of a vacuum. No, because of the Palestinians. I cannot find words to describe how sick that is. And he is the Secretary-General of the United Nations. Shame, 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 shame on you. Shame on you. And people who had loved one murdered and being held hostage right now in the Gaza Strip was sitting in the United Nations while he is giving this speech. It's unprecedented. I cannot even find the word to describe how sick that is. But that is exactly, if people think that this is just about, okay, we need a Palestinian state and then everything is jolly golly and there's going to be no more murder of the Jewish people. Are you serious? Are you serious? It's never about a two-state solution. It's not even about a Palestinian state. It's about there is not a Jewish state. It's about that the Jewish people are not going to be here. They're going to be eradicated. That is what is in Hamas's charter. That's why Abu Mazen didn't come out and condemn this. No, not at all. They are supporting and they are paying for the murder of the Jewish people. These Hamas terrorists who committed these heinous attacks are going to be paid by Abu Mazen, Israel's peace partner, the one that Emmanuel Macron right now is visiting in Ramallah. He's going to pay the terrorists who just committed the worst atrocities against the Jewish people since the Second World War. It is unbelievably outrageous. It is unbelievable outrageous. So Israel is going to go and they're going to eradicate, they're going to eliminate every single snake and rat of these ISIS Hamas terrorists who is right now hiding in bunkers in the Gaza Strip. They took the money your government sent to build schools and hospitals and homes in the Gaza Strip. They were used to build this super advanced tunnel system inside the Gaza Strip. And that is where the flipping cowards of the leadership of Hamas is hiding right now. The ones that didn't flee the country, but the leaders inside the Gaza Strip, that's where they are hiding, like the cowards they are. So for such a time as this, shame, shame, shame on you, Ontario, whatever your name is, the leader of the United Nations. You have just crowned yourself the biggest anti-Semite. So yeah, I just had to get that out of my chest. So for such a task like this, Jerusalem Jane, standing united with Israel for now and always, God's holy land, the land he gave to the Jewish people. There is one Jewish state, that never started a war, including this. Hamas viciously, brutally attacked Israel, and Israel has every right to take out this filthy, evil terror organization, who, by the way, is highly favored and very popular amongst the Palestinians, just so you know.